Welcome, everyone, to the Utah PTA Pulse Podcast. I'm Mike Williams, the Director of Communications here, and to my right, your left is...
Aimee Warren, Utah PTA Resolution Specialist.
And I'm Cammy Whitchurch, Community Engagement Commissioner.
And we have a special guest with us today. We have Ashley Rayback, who will be talking about Battle of the Bands. But first, we're going to have a question by Aimee.
My question is from Angela for everyone else. The question is, are you competitive?
Am I competitive?
Yes.
Yep.
We'll let you first.
It depends on what.
No.
What it is.
Ashley, it can't be.
Sorry, dude. That's just the way it is. I can be competitive, but I can also be collaborative. But I think probably in my core, I'm probably competitive. But I mean, I guess it just depends on what it is. Because sometimes I'm collaborative, and if it's something I don't care about, then I don't care. I have to pick my competitions, people, because I got to go full force when I'm doing it.
Moral of the story is yes, Ashley is competitive.
No, that is not the moral. The moral is I choose when I want to be, and if it isn't like a big thing to me, I'm cool with But if I want to be, I will take you down. Maybe.
Are you currently being competitive about if you're competitive or not?
I don't know. I mean, this feels like it's already started to be some kind of therapy session, and I don't have time for that.
I'm just the guest host and I'm talking too much. So.
Well, I love, so Ashley, we did what did we do? I can't even remember what we did. Our thing we did together. Leadership
Academy.
Yes. So me, Aimee, Ashley, Leadership Academy, inaugural leadership.
Right.
I felt you were very competitive, and which was awesome. It's like, this lady's going places. I love this lady.
Well, I don't know if this helps, but I did get promoted to actually being a professor on there, or an instructor, whatever.
Nice.
I never know. Teacher, instructor. So ever since that original cohort, they asked me. I took another person's place who had to leave, so I've taught all the other ones we've had.
That's awesome.
She taught mine. Yeah. I took the second session.
Oh, the second
Not as
one.
cool.
Whatever. Yeah. 2 is bigger than 1.
2 is bigger than 1. Well, that's cool.
We are on all the posters.
You were the experimentation.
Yeah,
we're
totally
on all
were.
the posters.
You're like the first child, and they're like, we were trying to figure things out.
And they did. They figured it out, and they got some really good. They got Ashley to come teach.
Yeah. It was the competitiveness. They were just like, we just can't compete. Just,
Yep.
You can't beat them, join them. So I guess that's what I'm doing. I'm a teacher on Leadership Academy, and it's awesome.
That's so cool.
How about you, Cammy? Are you competitive?
Yes. I try not to be, and I try to pretend like it doesn't matter, but deep in my heart, it does. It matters.
It hurts your soul.
Yes. I don't like to lose, but I try to pretend like I'm okay.
I'm like Ashley. If I care, I care. And I'm competitive. And my husband's really good at games, and I make him replay until I win. We're not going to bed until I've won this game. Okay. You can't let me win.
I have never done that. Never once.
I'm not openly competitive, I don't think. Most of the time. Sometimes I am, but most of the time it's kind of on the slide. Can you be on the slide competitive?
It's sneaky.
I want to win. I do.
I don't know. Does anybody think I'm competitive? I don't think I am.
No.
The only time this is awful. The only time I've been competitive is when I play games against my wife, because she is a poor winner. And if you're listening to this, Sheena, you are a poor winner. It is incredibly frustrating.
I'm telling her that.
She's so good at all the stuff we play. I hate playing Wii tennis. She sits on the couch and waves her wrist and then wins, and I'm up on the floor swinging, going crazy, and she wins. Anyway, that's the only time I'm
really
competitive.
Won?
What?
Who really won? You got the health benefits.
Yeah.
You got the workout.
Yep.
She got carpal tunnel.
You actually won. That's what you can tell yourself. You won the real prize.
I burned 180 calories.
Yeah, see, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah. Yep. For sure.
Okay. Well, we know who's competitive and not competitive or whatever.
Yeah. So I'm going to seem like I'm okay, but inside. The little monster wants to go.
The little monster of Cammy. All right, Ashley. Your turn to shine. Tell us all about Battle of the Bands.
Okay, so Battle of the Bands started about 20 years ago, and it was formed by a woman named Patsy who decided that PTA wasn't covering all the different children that there were in our school systems. You know, we have a lot of different programs. We cover the artists. We cover all kinds of things. But she saw this group of individuals who had a lot of talents and who had a lot of excitement for what they did, but they weren't necessarily, didn't have really like an outlet in high school for, or, you know, in high schools for it. They didn't really have an outlet in PTA for it. And so, like any good PTA leader, she created the program. And so now we have Battle of Bands. And when I was talking to one of the people on my committee, I loved this story because I feel like we have really stayed true to why Battle of the Bands was formed. I fight all the time about how important Battle of the Bands is, like for funding and everything, because it's super important to have this group of kids that's not necessarily represented in any other place have an opportunity to shine. And it's been so great because Utah PTA has been so supportive of it, and our leadership is really supportive of it. Executive does whatever they can to help, and they come and help with the programs. They come and, you know, run the cash box, run the ticket places. So it's just been a really cool program that I think helps and benefits a group of kids that don't necessarily get to shine in all the other ways, and it's awesome. And we have literally like saved lives because of it, because sometimes it just takes one way to show your talent or have others appreciate what you do to make you feel like you're a person, you know, a worthy person. And so it's just something I'm really passionate about. I've seen how great it is for my own children. I've seen it change the lives of other children. And whenever I do the program, I just am always so impressed by the quality of kids and how hard they work and how talented they are. And the adults that help them are also many times kids that were saved by this same program. So it's just really cool.
So explain to me, like, so I'm going to ask this honestly. Is this like boy bands? Are there girl bands? Is there mixtures?
Yeah.
Is it, I mean, is there performers that bring trumpets? Do they have trumpets?
Oh, yes.
Oh, wow. This is cool.
Uh-huh. Was it last year?
They can have any kind of band they want. And there's two different parts of this. There's the bands, and then there's the solos. So the Battle of the Bands, it can be any kind of band. We've had big band with brass. We've had like punk bands. We've had rock bands. We've had, you know, boy band-ish stuff. We've had, I don't know if we've had a country band, but we've had country soloists.
Cool.
So just to sort of like whatever the kid, however they feel like they want to express themselves, whatever kind of music they want, they perform it. They in their band, they perform it. And so they have two songs. If you're a band, you have two songs. You have one original, and then you have one cover. And of course, because it's Utah PTA, we make sure that all the lyrics are appropriate and the show's family friendly. And then the soloists either just have one song, and it can be a cover or original. So the fun thing about the shows that you go to watch is you have a wide variety. Like one time you're watching kind of cool folky kind of stuff, and then all of a sudden you're totally rocking out and hard metal and all kinds of things. So it's just sort of a variety show of like the brightest teens that you meet that play instruments. It's just really cool. It's really fun.
That's way awesome. Yeah, I have never.
We need to do our podcast at the state.
We should do a podcast there. That would be awesome.
Yeah, we should.
You should. I can tell you where they're. Well, I mean, I can tell you all the dates.
Yes, please tell us the dates.
So let me tell you how it works. So each school, each high school. Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I had just a question before. So this is all of Utah. Like, if you're down in St. George, you can participate and come up or come down. I don't even know where it's at. Maybe it is in St. George.
Yeah. So, the whole entire state. So we have each school with grades 9 through 12. So this means that some junior highs, if they have ninth graders, they can have a contest. So the rules are grades 9 through 12. So each school holds a contest for Battle of the Bands and solos. And then they send their one winner on to the multi-region. Now this year we changed it that if you have 6 or more bands or 6 or more solos, you can send 2. Because sometimes we have schools, like last year we had a couple schools that had such big local contests at their schools that it was bigger than the ones they were competing at the multi-region. Wow. So we allowed them to take 2. So now the rules are you can take 2 if you have 6 or more, and then you compete in multi-region. So there's 3 multi-regions. There's North multi-region, and that's March 15th from 3 to 6 p.m. at Bountiful High School. And then you have Central multi-region, which is February 22nd at Cottonwood High School, 6 to 9 p.m. And then you have South multi-region, which is March 15th, 6 to 9 p.m. at Summit Center in Springville. So we're kind of divided into 3. And then from there, we send our top bands onto the state. And the top 3 bands. And the top 3 soloists. And so they all compete at state. State is April 19th at the Grand Theater at Slick in Salt Lake City. And it's really cool when the kids get there. It's awesome because they get to work with their professional sound people. And it's so cool. And they plug them in. And it looks like the Muppet Theater. That's what they always say. They're like, this is a Muppet Theater. And they love it. It's just so pretty. And it's just a really fun event. Like, it just has a really cool vibe. And it's a fun stage to play on. And the audiences are always really engaging. And the local events are really fun, too. Like, a lot of times they're just held in the high schools, like, cafeteria during lunch or in the common area, and it's just really fun. Like, it's a time that all students are just having a really good time together. They're creating camaraderie, they're enjoying good music, they're just having a really fun time. And that's one thing I love about it. It's not only beneficial to the kids who participate in Battle of the Bands, but it's beneficial to the kids who watch it. It's just a great experience for everyone.
Has anyone famous come out of Battle of the Bands?
Oh, I don't know. But you know what? We have many judges that are past Battle of the Bands participants. Mm-hmm. And when we ask them, they're like, this saved my life. Like, I was in a dark place, I had no outlets, and then I played at Battle of the Bands, and we won, and changed my life around, and now I'm a music teacher at the high school, or now I'm in a rock band on the side with my friends. Like, these kind of people are willing to give back their time and their talents and their expertise, and a lot of our sound guys are like that too, because the multi-regions all have really good sound guys that are willing to help out, and it's like they have the vision because it benefited them. So I think it's one of the programs at Utah PTA that has kind of a cyclical benefit. Like, the people that participate in it loved it so much, and it made such an impact that they come back and give. And it's just a really cool opportunity to see those former students who are now, like, you know, adults with children and families and whatever, come back and be like, hey man, I love that I get to give back, and I love to be in this part of PTA and this part of just making a difference in the lives of kids.
Yeah, that's awesome. You know what? That is totally in line with our PTA mission statement, right? To make every child's potential a reality. Man, this is their reality now. So that's awesome that we have Battle of the Bands to do that. You know, it's great. We had Rebecca on about Reflections and how sweet Reflections is. But yeah, this is so great. I feel like, you know, I did the Reflections awards night last week in our council or in our region, and you know, once we get to the high school and junior high coming out, there's not too many people participating. But it seems like Battle of the Bands is that music part maybe that really gets those kids coming out. Yeah, that's great.
And this year, one thing I'm super excited about is that we have an exhibition band that is coming from one of the alternative high schools. They have a band teacher who created like a rock band class. And so they're not able to compete because they don't have a PTA. We're working on rule options for this because obviously other PTAs serve them. But for right now, they're going to come and be our exhibition band after the judging is done. And I am super excited for this group of kids to get to play. Like, it's such a cool place. It's like the perfect venue because it's your peers, people who appreciate the music you do. The audience is already revved up, like we're already having a really good time. Like, it's the ultimate place to come and play. Like, it really doesn't get any better than that for the kids because it just is like, you know, the people who appreciate who you are and they're there to cheer you on. And I think I'm really excited for this group of kids from an alternative high school, because I think they're ones that are traditionally not represented in many of our programs, or not traditionally get accolades or get to do the sports or even get to do a lot of the academic stuff. And so I'm excited that, for this one night you can have an epic rock show, and I'm excited about that.
So just to go back to the history of it, so 20 years ago, what was the lady's name who started it?
Patsy.
To anyone listening, I think that's awesome that, you could start something and then it gets to this kind of level. I'm sure there's lots of us that like, how could I help this individual or these kind of students or these kind of kids and help them express themselves, and how it's grown to now. That's really awesome. I love that it came from somebody's idea to get the students to go and do something. So that's really great.
Well, and I think one of the reasons why, I love that you said that, because it's true. It totally fulfills our mission. And I think one of the ways that it is so, like, it keeps happening and keeps, getting strong and people enjoy it is because we also have the vision of it. Like, I also have seen how it changed lives. I can see how it affected my own children. Like, I just am so appreciative of the things it did. And it gave them, one of them in particular, it gave them something to work towards. It was so good, and it just was a really positive experience. And they ultimately ended up not winning, but it didn't matter, and they didn't even care, because they got to do like the epic rock show, and that's what they wanted, and it was awesome. And so I just love programs like that do, really fulfill our mission in a way that, it's kind of thinking outside the box, but also it's, something really important.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not able to attend, do they live stream any of these events or record them?
Oh, I don't know. I've never seen that. This is my first year being in charge of the state Battle of the Bands, so I don't know. That'd be really cool. And one thing I did want to mention, if you don't mind, is that this is not like a one-time thing for many of our winners, because we have partners that then allow them to come play. So they played at a variety of things. Like last year, anyone who had played at the multi-regions could come play at the state fair. So we had several bands that were on that like big stage kind of in the middle of all the food that were playing. And they had a ton of people come and sit down and eat and hang out and have a good time. There's just a lot of different places they get to play and kind of a lot of connections they have. And actually, our state winning band from last year, I just talked to their mom today, and she was talking about how they've been offered some contracts.
Wow.
And so that's cool. And like,
That's
I don't know
cool.
if that happens all the time. It probably doesn't. And I don't think it doesn't. I don't think it's something that the kids expect, but it just is, it's one of those things where there are a lot of people who are trying to make this happen for these kids, and sometimes it happens, and it's cool. It's really great.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it'd be fun to follow, past bands and see where they're at now, or maybe this is the famous band that I was asking about before.
Yeah.
Here they are.
Here they are. Well, they were only 9th graders.
Holy cow.
Was it Imagine
I
Dragons
know.
from Utah? Is that what it is?
What's that?
Is it Imagine
The
Dragons?
whole
that
band was
from
9th
Utah?
graders.
I don't know. We should find out if Imagine Dragons did.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Oh,
Maybe Imagine
Battle of the
Dragons
Bands.
was
Because
Battle
they're
of the
from like
Bands.
St.
Yeah.
George, aren't they?
They're Provo?
Provo? Somewhere.
A lot of them are for Provo,
Yeah.
like Meantries, Imagine Bands, National Parks. You got like Mindy Gledhill. Those are all Provo people.
I'm like, did they do Battle of the Bands? We need to find this out. I feel like we need to know.
We do.
Well,
That'd be so cool.
just a plug for it, my brother, like the early years, so he would have been in high school, like when it started, but he actually participated in Battle of the Bands. And then we had him as a judge a couple years ago at the multi-region level. So that was really cool for him to come back and see like some of the others
cool.
and to see that progress and how far it's come. So he told us, afterwards he was like, I will come and do this anytime.
All right, give me his number. I might need him.
He lives in St. George.
Oh, okay.
He moved in the process. But if you have something down in St. George, I'm sure he would be there in a heartbeat.
I know the St. George schools have talked about doing Battle of the Bands, and it's just up to each local if they decide to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's up to the high school if they want to. And the thing is you can have, if you have 2 or more bands, you have a competition and send it on. If you only have one band, they can just be sent on as long as someone is willing to do the work to like, it's not hard because it's all online, but as long as someone's to take the process of like, say like, hey, we're opting into this contest, here's our band, and then submitting them.
Yeah.
So it's great. And sometimes we have bands, you know, like one band come from high school. If that does happen, I highly recommend they have at least some chance to perform, because performing is different than just like performing in your basement, you know?
For sure. For sure. I agree. Giving him the opportunity. I do have a name of a judge, though. I'll text it to you.
Yeah, send it to me.
Okay.
I want it.
That's really good to know. I was actually talking to my high school PTSA president today at our council meeting. And I was like, yeah, do you guys have any bands? Like, I send you guys the stuff every year. And nothing happens. And she's like, well, I think we do. But, like, I give them the flyer, and no one ever says anything on. So maybe I'll let her know. I'm like, maybe we need to engage with them in the application process and be like, hey, we will help you. If you want to do this, like, we'll help you do it, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not super hard. And I have that video, utahpta.org/Battle of the Bands, or you can get to it from the main page. I also have a Facebook group, Utah PTA Battle of the Bands. We have an Instagram, same thing, Utah PTA Battle of the Bands. And basically, it has all the rules right there. It's like 6.5 pages. And I have a short video you can watch. And we've had a lot of schools that have decided just to do it this year. And they're like, hey, the videos were helpful. We're good. So I don't... And then anyone call me or text me or email me or whatever, and I'm willing to help. Don't forget about the solos, because sometimes people have soloists who want to do it. And a solo just can either accompany themselves, and we've seen people on piano, guitar, whatever, or they can sing to a backing track, which is new this year, or they can have one other person play for them, but the person can't be like a backup singer. They just have, like, maybe you have one singer who then the guy in the back is playing the piano or whatever. So you can have an accompanist, not another participant. But, you know, so maybe some of those schools that are not ready to commit to the whole, like, band, or they don't have a band, don't forget about the solos. Because we have a legit solo competition. We had some awesome soloists last year.
So do you have to be a singer to be in that solo competition?
Yeah, I think it's a singing thing.
Okay. I was just thinking about that.
I have seen, yeah, it's like you have a singer and then you have an accompanist. But, you know, it's high school. Some are better singers than others. So just, you know, if you want to do it, do it.
Yeah.
And I promise you, the best thing about high school is everybody cheers just as loud. Like, it's just as epic no matter who you are. So.
That's what I love about them, is they're so, like, the crowd is so supportive of the bands. It's so much fun to go. There's such an energy at the Battle of the Bands competitions. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's good to know.
So, you know, the people are so good at it, too. Like, we really create a really fun, you know, like, last year at the state, at our multi-region, this was my idea, so we did it at the state and multi-region, is we did paper plate awards during the judging, like, when the judges were tabulating whatever. And then we always have fun MCs who tell jokes or have cool things they do. So it just is like a fun night. Like, even my little kids like going. It's just a really fun night. And it's clean music, clean entertainment, family crowd, fun night.
Yeah, I think for, like, these schools like Aimee was talking about that maybe are like, you see Battle of the Bands, you're like, oh, we don't have... But there are so many people that sing. You know, it's prevalent, at least here in Utah, I would think.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that's...
And there's so many singer-guitar, you know, like singer-songwriter guitar players. So many of them. So, I mean, I think that some of those schools, if they're advertising bands, should make sure they're advertising solos as well, because we had a girl who was on, like, American Idol a couple of years ago. She was in Battle of the Bands because she was, like, you know, got through some of the rounds of American Idol. She was never on TV, but that's the kind of caliber of people you had, and she was really good. And they had, you know, it's fun. It's fun to see the talent.
Now, you can send a soloist even if you don't send a band. So say you just have like, okay.
Yep, you can do one. You know, a lot of people only send bands because they don't have soloists.
Mm-hmm.
And then some. So if you have 6 or more, 6 bands or 6 soloists, you know, if you have 6 bands, you can send 2. If you have 6 solos, you can send 2. So if your contest is only soloists and you have like 10 soloists, you can send 2 winners.
Oh, that's awesome.
So if that's what you choose to do, yeah. And like I said, we have a strong solo competition. Like, our soloists are legit.
Mm-hmm.
So when they at the, I guess, the school level, they're judged there. Who's doing the judging there? How do they move on? Who chooses how they move on?
So there's judges, and each local gets their own judges. And then when they move on to the multi-region, we have our judges. And then when they move into the state, they have judges. So they're judged at every single level. But it's always fun because it's always kind of a positive experience. The judges are super nice. The judges are really excited and accepting and just happy to be there and happy to help them. We've had judges stay after and like talk to bands, be like, "You guys are so awesome. You should try this." And just, they're as into it as they are. It's just a lot of fun. It's just a cool vibe all around.
That is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Mike's like, I want to.
I know.
Well,
I really think we're gonna
You
have to
should
do
have
it.
every
Mike the
do an
soloist.
episode.
Nothing else.
Well,
You should go to the state one because it's gonna. I mean, any of the multi-region ones are gonna be really good and really fun. The state one is like, the winners from each level, and so we've got some really great talent from all over the state, and they just have a fun time. And the Grand Theater is really fun. It does look like the Muppet Theater.
It really
And
does.
it's just as
Can you
cool
get
to
us
be
a
in such
Muppet
cool
booth?
place.
You know, where the 2 old men.
yeah, let's
like,
get the Muppet booth for the
Could we
PTA.
have that?
Yeah. Yeah, it just is really cool. And the kids, they walk on stage and we get to work with their professional sound staff there, and it just is cool. They sound better than they ever have. They have a cool audience, that they would never be able to draw for themselves because they're just like one kid from high school. But, when you have all those bands together and all their friends and all their supporters and all the PTA people, it's a good time for everybody.
That's awesome. I'm excited. I'm going.
Cool.
Okay. All right. Well, do you want to tell us anything else before we let you go?
I don't think so. Just if you have any questions, I think the best way to contact me initially is just my email, which is region10@utahpta.org. Because in my other PTA life, despite the Leadership Academy and PTA Battle of the Bands, I also am the Region 10 director. So that's the best way to reach me, is email me, and then we can figure out whether we need to text or call or whatever. But if they have questions, let's do that. And I think the best place to start is just look on the website, utahpta.org, look up Battle of the Bands. You'll be able to see all the rules, kind of see what you're getting yourself into if you decide to do it. And then, contact me and I can help. But I think it is pretty self-explanatory. Everybody's been able to figure it out. And if they have a couple questions, they ask me. So I'm hoping it's accessible and easy.
Awesome. Well, we're excited. I'm excited. I'm going to go check
love
this out. Okay. All right. Thanks, Ashley. We're going to do a little dance. You can dance on your end. Nobody will see you. That's how we end our podcast, is dancing.